Come on now. Howdy. I'm Grey Pilgrim. Well, I haven't done a video in a while, and I just thought I ought to do one. Why in the thing is this hanging out like it's drunk or something? Yeah. Damn dime store. Hold on a second. There. Dime store tripod here. Well, actually, Goodwill. Anyway, over the years, I've owned many, many guns. And there's a particular maker of guns that I've owned many, many of. And this is that maker. This is the current crop of what I own. And that maker is the maker of this, the Ruger. This may look like a Mark I, but this is just, when it came out, it was just called the Ruger. This is an early, very early one. And you can always tell the difference between this and a Mark I by the magazine. See that magazine? See the slit here for your ammo counter? Well, on a Mark I, it's on this side. This one's an original, and this is an original. When I got it, it was missing a part. Well, it had the part, but it was broken. And I ordered a Mark I part. It's part of the linkage for the trigger, and got it all working again. By the way, Mark I's are just bloody easy to take apart. This one, not so much. Once you got it apart, it takes bloody well forever to get it back together again. So I'm never going to spill strip this one again. If I've got to load this guy up, it's just going to be open it up and then put glom as much ballastol in it as I possibly can, and then dry it off as best I can and put it away. Besides, 22s, most 22s are not as dirty as they were back in the day of black powder. And this is an LCR. This is a 38 special 5-shot pocket revolver, snub nose, and it's a light. It's an air weight. It's all these are unloaded. If you look down there, you'll see the rounds they came with. And this has just for a trigger. The trigger on this thing for air weight, it's hammerless. It does have a hammer, but it's shrouded. But that is just a beautiful trigger on this thing. This one, also unloaded, is an LC9. This is the same thing, only in 9mm. Also an air weight. And it's just, this is the best little pocket pistol I've ever carried. I like it a lot. I used to carry, of all things, a Detonics Pocket 9, which weighed about 3 times as much as this thing. It was in stainless steel, and in its day, the only way you could actually mitigate the recoil of a 9mm in a pistol like this, I mean, it was the very first pocket 9mm ever made. And the only way you could really mitigate the recoil was with a really powerful slide and spring. And it had a double spring in it, and it still recoiled brutally. This thing recoils beautifully, and it has a couple of magazines like this. As you can see, it's also unloaded. And my fourth one is a Mini 14. And this, I know, black rifles are all the thing these days, and everybody says this thing is inaccurate and terrible and all of that. But this is sort of my homage to the A-Team. It's a folder. I do have a regular stock for the thing, but this is actually a homemade, oh, come on now. Now I got to tighten that down too. It's a homemade folder, and oh gosh. And it's been a while since I've folded it too, and it looks like it's stuck. Well, come on now. I'm gonna fix this one way or another. Well, actually, I'll fix it later, but this just works. I mean, I don't have any kind of funny rails on it with red dots or any kind of funny sights. This is my repel borders weapon, and it sits next to my bed, and it's loaded with 30 rounds. Yeah, it's a 30 round 223, and it does really well. Yes, it won't do minute of angle at 1,000 yards, but it'll do just fine across the bedroom or in the house or through the yard. And you know, the whole idea behind a pistol is to keep the guy busy until you can get a rifle. Well, I've got the rifle too. And matter of fact, this sits on the bedside table and this sits next to the bed. The one thing that, you know, today is just terrible is this little safety is in, to actually engage the safety, you have to put your finger into the trigger guard. Well, as I recall, that's the way the M14 worked. As I recall, that's the way the Garand worked. I mean, that was this was just considered normal back in the 50s and 60s, 40s and 50s, and up through the 60s. God, I got to fix that. I'm going to find an Allen wrench and just screw the heck out of that and put it down. Matter of fact, why don't I take that out and then put a little bit of some wood glue in there and then screw it back in again. You know, an old trick is you take like 4/0 grain steel wool and some glue, and you wrap the steel wool around the threads of the screw, then throw some glue in there, and then ream the whole thing in, and it locks in a wood screw. And I think I'll do that. Anyway, as I said, I've owned many other Rugers over the years. These are what I currently own. But I have had consistently really good experience with the Ruger. You know, Bill Ruger was a pretty fascinating guy. He came up with some interesting designs. And where did I put it? Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. Now, I don't particularly care for the author of this. It's a fellow named R.L. Wilson. And yes, Garrett, I know about R.L. Wilson. And yes, to all the other people out there who know about R.L. Wilson. But he talks about the Ruger here. And don't I have... No, I got rid of that one too. Dang it. I had another Ruger revolver, a single action Army. I also used to have an old Army. You know, a stainless steel old Army, which was just a beautiful black powder revolver. But also had a P85. Now that was an interesting one. It was a double action only, and in 45. And I forget what model it was, but it was a beautiful thing. I've had several. And I like Ruger. I like Ruger a lot. Well, there's my my sales pitch for the day for a good. This is a good weapon. They're consistently good quality. These are super light, and that's a hell of a lot cheaper than the SIGs or Smith & Wessons or anybody else who makes one of these. You know, this particular LC9, I highly recommend it. It has a Glock-like trigger on it, striker fired, but it has an interesting takedown. It's a beautiful pistol. You know, this one's also the Mark IVs and stuff, the modern 22s, superb. Oh yeah, I've got another one. I've got a 1022. It's on the wall over there. Forgot about that one. Yeah, everybody should have a 1022. Well, I've got one. Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm thinking of getting a one of those new custom stocks for it. You know, that might be kind of fun. You know, I won't do a black rifle, regular black rifle, but I might do that to a 1022. Horrible to so abuse that 1022. Sigh. Anyway, that's what I've been up to lately. Happy trails.